Hello and welcome back to the hashtag TFR Motivation Monday
Monday.
Zoom. We are Dr. Dondi and Marcy Nettles, and we've got a great one for you tonight. We have presidential consultant Rachel Pekarek in the house will be joining us tonight. But before we get into that, we have some announcements and also the reminder we send you guys every week. Make sure to go on to the Team Freedom Reigns YouTube channel and subscribe to us, follow us, and make sure you get all the new stuff we release every single time.
Yeah, so let's get going through here. I'm just adding people in as they're coming in here on
All
Zoom.
right.
Happy
birthday, Collagen. Last week was the celebration of exactly 1 year since we released this amazing new product, True Science Liquid Collagen. And to celebrate the birthday bonanza, we've got two enrollment options for new people that are enrolling this month from today until the end of the month. New consultants that enroll on an enrollment pack will be given a free 10-pack of True Science Liquid Collagen with their order. How awesome is that? To be used for 10, you can use 10 bottles to 10 or one bottle to 10 different people, or more like one person gets 5, another person gets 5, so they can actually start having an experience. Make sure to take the before picture and then also follow up with people that could add the Healthy Glow Essential Stack to their order if they enrolled as a consultant this month in June. If they add to their subscription order next month, the Healthy Glow Essentials, they will get also a 10-pack of True Science Liquid Collagen for free. And there's an option to get 2 free 10-packs. So somebody who enrolls between today and the end of the month on an enrollment pack, and if they add the Healthy Glow Essential Stack to their auto ship or their subscription next month, they will get 1 10-pack this month with their order and 1 next month with their subscription. Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
2 10-packs.
And by the way, guys, they wanted to make sure it included everyone that enrolls in the month of June. So it's not just people that start today and through the end of the month. It's anyone that enrolled in the month of June will be able to get that free 10-pack added to their subscription next month, as long as they have the Healthy Glow Essential Stack on their subscription order. So this is a really big deal, guys. Make sure that you're using this as, for those fence sitters, those people that haven't quite made that decision yet. This is a great way for them to get an additional tool to be able to sample out the collagen to the people that they've been sharing or thinking they want to share this product with. So great promotion that we have going on, all for this amazing liquid collagen that has also now won first place as the People's Choice Stevie Awards for best new product.
This is a big deal. And one thing, there's a lot of people already taking other collagen products, but one thing I have yet to find an experience where they tried ours and didn't go, oh my gosh, that is delicious. Because collagen, let's just face it, it doesn't taste good, but ours tastes amazing. Take advantage of this first place People's Choice Award, because only one won this award and it was ours.
Yeah. So use it as a talking point, guys. Remember to check your emails every single Monday. And if you're not getting the email from LifeVantage, the Momentum Live email, Monday Momentum email, you need to make sure that you either call corporate and get it fixed up, go into your back office, get it fixed up, because you need to have this email, because it has all of the information that you need to know every single week. We try to run it down for you, but you have it in your inbox. All right. So this week's Momentum Live that happens every single Tuesday is going to be Skip and Jill Campbell, presidential consultants, and they're going to be talking about the MVP, how to be a most valuable player for your team, right? So make sure that you join tomorrow at 3 p.m. Mountain Time to be able to get all of the information on MVP.
And remember, this month, double points for the Punta Cana incentive trip at the Hard Rock Hotel. So remember, double points towards the global incentive trip in 2024 this month. So we've got, what is today?
About 11
days left in the month to crush it and get double points.
Well, and think about it, guys, this amazing birthday bash that we're having that helps you get those new consultants because of the amazing free 10 packs. You also will be getting those double points on all of those enrollments. So go. Perfect timing.
Yes. And 2 chances this week to get your teams, your prospects in front of the entire I would just say the groundbreaking, earth-shattering opportunity that we call the LifeVantage opportunity. And we have this week, we have tomorrow at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, we have Executive Leader Christy Vogt. And then on Thursday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, we have Executive Leader Chris Smith.
And
both
remember,
of these guys knock it out of the park.
All the details are in that Monday Momentum email. So go there for it. Plus on Wednesday night, we will be doing our virtual Sip and Glow. Make sure that you join us. Make sure you're inviting. All of the details are right here. Take a screenshot, or it's also on bigbluecalendar.com. Make sure you're using that tool for all of your presentations.
And we've got this amazing fanny pack / shoulder bag that is this month for anyone who anyone who qualifies for the 3-and-1 will get this amazing branded LifeVantage fanny pack and make your stylish fanny even more stylish, or your shoulder, as Marcy likes. Marcy won't wear the fanny pack, but she'll wear it as a shoulder bag. But do whatever you want with it, because when you get the 3-in-1 qualifications, it's yours.
So let us know. What are you? Are you team fanny pack or are you team shoulder bag? I'm totally shoulder bag all the way. Oh, let's go back one more. All right, guys. So Activate 2023 is coming up really fast. We're actually almost 1 month out from this virtual event that is coming up on the 22nd of July. It's a 4-hour event virtual where you're going to be hearing all kinds of information about Evolve, the program perks, awards, incentive trips, talking about the luxury gifts that are going to be able to be earned by each one of you. You're going to be able to preview new tools, training, 3-in-1, plus recognition, motivation, and so much more. And if you are not hosting a watch party at your house, why not? Put one together, have some friends over, make sure everybody registers first and then comes and watches it together. Have fun with it. We're hosting one here at our house. So if you're anywhere near Arizona, we would absolutely love to have you join us for our Activate 2023 watch party. We're going to be having some brunch potluck and some drawings and just make it a good time, right? So get registered if you're not, and then have a party.
And one of the greatest things about the LifeVantage opportunity is the culture. This is a great opportunity to invite your prospects, your teammates, and just get them over to experience just the amazing culture that we have here at LifeVantage. It's very unusual in this profession.
Yes. All right. So now I kind of screwed up the slide, but here we are.
She's overzealous. We all can't wait.
I'm so excited to get Rachel on here because, Rachel is one of those ladies that's like, I want to be like when I grow up. She's amazing in her leadership, her heart-centered leadership. She always comes from the truth. She doesn't sugarcoat things, but she will always give you good guidance and direction. So do you want to intro Rachel for us?
Yes. So I've got her bio here. This is pretty impressive, guys and gals. So Rachel Pekarek lives in Siberia, which is also known as Minnesota, with her husband, Tony, and their 2 fur babies, Oakley and Shugs. She started her first network marketing venture when she was just legal. 21 years old. She could put her fake ID away and join network marketing business opportunity. Well, she was a college dropout proudly, and she failed forward for several years until she found a mentor and a marketing system that allowed her to flourish online, and flourish she has. In 2009, Rachel started attraction marketing using social media to grow her business. And since then, she's literally become one of the top recruiters, top earners, and most sought after speakers in the home-based space. She's that big, guys. So we are it was a huge blessing for us to extend the invitation and her to jump at it. In fact, she offered herself. That's how amazing this woman is. So she joined LifeVantage on October 10th of 2015, coming up on 8 years ago. Get this, guys. She reached Elite Pro 7 in 19 days, Elite Pro 8 in 4 months, Elite Pro 9 in 18 months, and became a Master Pro 10 in 4 years, and now is one of LifeVantage's top 10 earners globally. And she didn't come into this or into network marketing with all kinds of experience. As she said, she failed forward. One of the things that I love about Rachel, she's quietly passionate about her philanthropic work, including building orphanages and rehabilitating youth that have been rescued out of the child sex trafficking. That just makes my heart break and my heart warm at the same time because of what Rachel's doing to literally get to the roots of that. And one of the things about Rachel, and I'm going to use a couple Tony Robbins references, is Tony Robbins says one of the keys to success is proximity is power. When you are close to or you know people that have been successful and you network with them and they network with you. Rachel is an incredible blessing, and she gifts herself tremendously to people, and she's just a giver. But one of the things also about Rachel is when you follow her career and you follow the successes that she's had, she gives hope to anyone, because she said she's a college dropout. She literally started this with no experience and failed forward. But what you can learn from Rachel's success is if you want what Rachel has, you just do what Rachel did. And Tony Robbins talks about turning decades into days. When you follow proven leaders and you do what they've done, you don't have to learn the lessons that they've learned. You don't have to go through the peaks and valleys. You just follow what they did and turn decades into days by condensing the time it takes to get to success. And I can think of no one better and more authentic in this industry than our guest tonight, Rachel Pekarek. And I want to share something with you. One of the things you'll learn about her is she's a spirit-filled gal. She just talks about God all the time. And no matter what self-help book you've seen or what owner's manual to success you've ever read, they're all rooted in the 31 chapters of Proverbs. Proverbs is where all wisdom as far as success comes from. And I'm going to read a scripture that kind of encompasses Rachel tonight. And it's Proverbs 31:31. It says, honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her work bring her praise at the city gate, and praise in this profession, and praise in this Zoom room tonight. So please welcome our presidential consultant and special guest tonight, Rachel Pekarek. Rachel, please join us.
Thank you guys so much. Hello, good evening, everybody. If you can, do me a favor and turn on your camera. So if you are not, busy bathing the kids or getting dinner ready, please, I'd love to see your guys' faces. It motivates me to no end. I am very much like a home-based business, like robot. I feed off of like your energy. So I want to see your faces. If you're naked or something, just leave the camera off. This is the family show. Okay. So just had to put that out there, and hopefully you guys have come with an ante to play. And when you come on to Marcy and Dondi's calls, every single call, you want to have a designated notebook that is just for this team, just for LifeVantage. And what I do, Marcy, I'll give you a little tip. I go to like TJ Maxx and I buy like 5 or 6 at a time. And this one I've gotten several versions of because I really liked the cover. And the cover said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." It's Eleanor Roosevelt. And so these notebooks for me and for you guys, your notebooks will be uncashed checks. So do not trust a long memory, trust a short pencil. The best leaders are excellent students. So we're going to dive in tonight to talk about the 5 myths or 5 things I wish I would have known when I got started in network marketing. And it's been a hot second, 17 years. Inside of this industry. So if you're doing the math, I started when I was 12. Just kidding. It was really fun, Dondi and Marcy, it was really fun telling my story of success when I was like in my 20s. And I'm like, I'm 27 years old. And people are like, whoa. And then now you tell, you're like, I'm 38 years old. They're like, cool. It just is not as impactful at all. But, here we are. And it's been an incredible journey. And like Donnie shared in my bio, I started very much like most of you. I grew up in nowhere, any town, Wisconsin, in a little tiny town with an average family. My parents divorced when I was 1. They remarried, divided, kind of split household, stepchildren, stepkids, step siblings. And I grew up looking at my parents. My dad went into the realm of brick and mortar business. And so he traded his life in the business of hairdressing or salon ownership. And he made his entire future around the emotions, fickleness, goals of 25-year-old women. And so I got to watch that growing up, like the stress, the blessings, the kind of curses involved with that. And then my mom did some real estate, but then primarily did like 9 to 5, which is really 8 to 6 in corporate America. And all I knew is that by the age of about 15, I wanted to be like neither of them. I didn't want to go into traditional business, but I also didn't want to go into corporate America. At the age of almost 16 years old, I became very ill, deathly ill, In fact, I was hospitalized with a disease called ulcerative colitis. I nearly died about a week before I turned 16. And I was in the hospital for about 2.5 months. Seriously, like coded like 4 times, had numerous major surgeries, all the complications to this massive disease. And what I experienced was a maturity at 16. I turned 16 in the hospital. And I knew that health was important. And I had all these nurses around me, and most of them bad, no offense, some of them good. And I decided that if I wanted to help people and I wanted a good job and I wanted a good career, I should become a nurse. So I signed up for nursing school only to find out that it was paperwork and politics. Anybody in healthcare, drop a 1 in the chat. Anybody in healthcare in here? Oh my word, you know it. And I was fighting with the doctors. I was fighting with the staff. I'm like, why are you giving my diabetic patients Sprite? Why are you giving my cancer patients Ensure with 28 grams of sugar? And so I found out very quickly that that was not for me. And I went into school into the direction of like holistic nutrition. And a friend of mine about 17 years ago dragged me down to a meeting. He said, you'd be really good at this. And I'll tell you, I went kicking and screaming. I sat in the back of the room. My arms were crossed. I was like, I don't have time for this. I don't know anybody. I don't have any money to get started. Like, how am I going to make money in this kind of a business? And that's the night I learned about network marketing and residual or leveraged income. And I thank God that he opened up my heart that night to the possibility. Write that word down, possibility. That's what we're going to talk here tonight. The whole conversation about understanding what I'm going to present to you is the possibility of you changing your life, the possibility of you getting an aha and saying, you know what? I have everything that I need with the right products, the right team, the right compensation. Can we get an amen in the chat? The right compensation to take this and possibly change the course, the trajectory of my life, maybe my children's life or children's children forever. Kind of like the Sandlot, forever. You guys have like a 1990s, little movie reference there. So, all right, back to the theory. I'm very squirrel, by the way. So if I'm any sort of home business robot, I'm like the ADHD robot. And so like sometimes we go off a little bit, then we come right back. Sometimes I forget where I was. We're just going to enjoy the journey together. But the answer is possibility. The word is possibility. The theme is possibility. And I got started and gosh, Marcy, I was so excited. Donnie, I was like twice as blonde. I was there like not too far from you. It was in like Maricopa, Chandler, Gilbert area in Arizona. And I was like wet behind the ears, super excited to start in my little new company. I got my business card. I made my list. I had 81 names on my list. And I was 21 years old and I was like, all right, we're going to get started. And guys, guess how many of them signed up? Of the 81 people that I wrote down, guess how many of them signed up? 1, my mother. Of course, my mother, she was a gimme, a duh, hello. But she didn't sign up the first month. It took her a couple months to come around. She was a little bit of like a lagger, but she did finally relent and enjoy my business. And now she's an executive in LifeVantage. But I was not an epic raving success. I was a horrible, miserable failure when I started. And because of that, I had to grunt. I had to push. I had to crawl and claw my way to see some success. Now, when I started, I went through those 81 names so quickly. Donnie, I had to go to cold market. I was 21. I didn't have a network. Guys, this is before Facebook. This is before TikTok, right? This is like MySpace days, right? I was friends with Tom. Anybody else friends with Tom? I was friends with Tom. Like that was it. Like, so what did I do? I had to go, if I was going to build a business, I just signed up. I got the vision. I was like, I need to talk to people. And I was so dumb, Marcy. I'm so glad that I'm not that smart. I listen to your husband sometimes and he does like the AM PM presentation and talking about like circadian rhythms. And I'm like, wow, so great. And I'm like, I'm so glad that he's around because he's smart. I'm not. Guys, I was so dumb when the upline told me that I needed to be doing 2 to 3 presentations a day. I was like, okay. And I ran out of people. So I'm like, I guess I got to start calling leads or cold calling people because they said to be successful, I need to get and do 2 to 3 presentations a day. Now, I didn't have a list, but I had a desire to see success. And that's what I started doing. I started cold calling. Marcy, nobody told me cold calling was scary. Nobody told me it. I was just dumb enough to think like, hey, I just got to start to do it. And my first 30 days, I signed up 0 people, but the next month, like popcorn kernels, 12 of them popped. And I began to enroll and I began to recruit and I began to build. Never made a lot of money, made a ton of mistakes and learned a lot. My first company I was with for 5 years, I call it my bachelor's in home-based business. I got my bachelor's in marketing. I done my bachelor's in leadership, my bachelor's in business, right? My bachelor's in understanding like how to be an entrepreneur because I'd only ever had a job. And so I'd only had been employed. So I had to learn how to be self-motivated. But there's 5 things I want to give to you tonight. 5 things I wish I would have known. If I coulda, shoulda, woulda, had a little time machine to go back in and tell little Rachel, little blonde, 6-foot Rachel, of like, hey, girl, like if you just know this, maybe I'd save myself some heartache. Here's the first one. Number 1 is that motivation is overrated. I have people that come to me at every event. Odell, hi, Darlene, hi, Ron, hi, Linda, hi, Jade. I have people that come to me at every event. They're like, oh, you're so motivating. Or they'll be like, how do you stay so motivated? Marcy and Donnie and I were always on these executive calls and they're so cute. They're like, we want to shout out the executives that are MVP. We want to shout out the executives that are diamond and all that sort of stuff and that won the trip. And my name's always up there. People are like, how? After so many years, 7.5 years in this company, how do you stay so motivated? Guys, drop it to me in the chat if you want to know how I stay so motivated. Like, don't you want to know if somebody's like made, like our team has done hundreds of millions in revenue, right? We are a 7-figure team every single month. How do I stay so motivated? I am very pregnant. Fun fact, I am very, very pregnant right now. I'm at 8+ months pregnant, and I'm on a call for a team that's not my team. How do I stay so motivated? You guys want to know? I don't stay motivated. I don't rely on motivation. I don't give 2 cents to motivation. I don't look for motivation. I don't tally my motivation. I don't gather the motivation. Motivation is irrelevant to me. It's irrelevant to my success because if your feelings are necessary for you to have success, meaning you got to feel it, you got to have that inspiration. You got to have all the stars aligned and all your things feeling good. And you got to have your axio and you got to have your thing. And everything's got to be good. And then everything on your desk has to be clean. You got to have all your stuff organized. Like, you got to be motivated. If you got to feel like you got to pump yourself up and listen to a Les Brown thing. I'm not saying that these things are not noble. I'm not saying that these things aren't helpful. But at some point, you can't rely on your feelings or be dictated by your feelings if you're going to do it. Write this down. You're either doing it or you're not. You're doing it or you're not. What I think that motivation is overrated, you know what I think is huge? You know what I think is king? Discipline is king. Discipline is king. Now, when I mention discipline on any call, on any conversation or any stage, I see the collective sigh from the audience. It's like a groan, like, discipline, because it's the most unsexy thing, right? When somebody talks about discipline, you're like, no, I want this secret sauce. I want this short form. I want the algorithm hat. Everybody wants the magic bullet that's going to make them feel like they're going to do it, like they should do it, like it should be easy. Guys, it's not easy. In fact, right now, I had some great friends that I haven't seen in a while, and mind you, again, very pregnant. And they're like, you look so good. They're like, gosh, from some angles, like from the back, like you don't even look pregnant. And then boom, you got your belly. And I'm like, guys, I'm telling you, it is only because I work out 6 days a week. It is only the reason, because I'm eating like a horse. I'm eating, my husband's like 230 pounds and like 6'4", and I'm eating more than him. And I'm like, tiny. And so I'm like, it's seriously. And people are like, how do you stay so motivated working out? You've been nauseous your whole pregnancy. You have all these pains, you have this scar tissue, you have this whole crazy, complicated high-risk surgery. I'm not motivated to work out. I don't want to work out. Everything hurts right now. It's tough. I would rather lay down and eat bonbons. Are those a thing? Donuts. I'd rather eat donuts and chocolate and cookies and cakes, all the cakes, vanilla cake, cheesecake, mousse cake, like chocolate mousse cake, cakes, lemon cake, pineapple upside down cake, peach cake, cobbler pie. I would rather sit down and just eat that all day long. I am not motivated, but I am disciplined. I'm disciplined. Discipline is king. But you know what is his queen? Here's the secret. Systems. A couple of years ago for Christmas, my brother-in-law got me a book. He's a teacher, now retired teacher, and he's in the recruiting and training space, went off on his own in a 1099. And Tyler gave me this book called Atomic Habits. Raise your hand if you guys have read Atomic Habits. It's so good. It's so good. It's one of the most life-changing books other than the Word of God that I have read that has totally changed my life. And I read that book on a vacation. Actually, my birthday is January 2nd. So I'm in Mexico reading this book on Atomic Habits. And at the time, I was recently newlywed to my amazing hunky husband, Ogre. Tony, by the way, call him Ogre. And he was a marathon runner. He still is. He ran a marathon 2 days ago. And so he's ran 15, 16 fulls. He's probably ran 30 or 40 half marathons. This guy is a cardio bunny. I mean, this giant, humongous human, but he's a cardio bunny. And I was never into cardio. Cardio is cardio. Don't put me down for cardio. I'm all about lifting heavy things, pulling heavy things, pushing heavy things. I do not run. If I'm running, something is chasing me, you better run too, okay? So when I met Tony, I said, I want you to know I'm not going to run with you. If that's a thing, a deal breaker, I'm going to be in the weight room and you can go run and that's fine. And then I went to the first marathon and I sat at the finish line. And I don't know if you have a competitive bone in your body, if you have a FOMO bone. Anybody, you guys got a little bit of competition in you? A little bit, you like to win, you like to achieve. They got medals. That's all I needed to see. I was like, they get a medal, they get a t-shirt, they get a free piece of pizza at the end. Everyone claps for them. You're sitting there like a seal, for literally an hour for people. You're crying. These grandmas are going past the finish line and you're bawling. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that they just did this. And then you're sitting there. That woman is 72 years old and just did a marathon. You're like, what am I doing here on the sidelines? Eating my Cheez-Its or something. So I got motivated and I'm like, I'm going to do a marathon, no, not a marathon, a 5K, a 5K. Let's keep it realistic here. We're not going to go crazy all of a sudden. I'm going to do 5K. So I'm reading this incredible book. Oh, it's a little bit of background noise. Reading this incredible book. And it started to change the idea of systems. And see, Dondi, Mercy, I always wanted to be an athlete. I'd always maintained my weight with diet and with discipline there, but I wanted to be that person that was strong and fast and that could, had endurance. I wanted to be that person to get the accolades, the medal, the finisher t-shirt. I wanted to be an athlete. And so he talked about 1, signing up for the race, but 2, creating a system. So this is what I did, write this down. Every morning, as soon as I'd brush my teeth, I immediately put on my running shoes. I immediately put on my workout outfit. Now, normally my mornings are sacred. I go down and I read, and typically it was in a big fuzzy robe with my slippers and my Axio and my coffee and my other beverages. I have all the beverages, right? And I have all the commentaries in the Bibles, everything's out. And it's like hours of just sitting there with Jesus. And normally that's what it looked like. But I just made one shift. Toothbrush down, Nikes on. And what happened was my likelihood of working out went up tenfold. It was a 99, almost 99% chance I was going to get some sort of workout in that day, some sort of cardio in, some sort of lifting, some sort of combination, just because I was ready. I had the gear on. It was I had one less friction, one less obstacle of going downstairs. Mind you, I don't have to drive to a gym. I have a treadmill downstairs. I have a gym downstairs in my basement, and I still wouldn't do it. All I did was change one system. Motivation is overrated. I never felt like running. I never feel like working out. I still don't at 8+ months pregnant. but it's part of who I am now. And I love that in Atomic Habits, he says about changing your identity, like, I am an athlete. Like, I am a runner. I am an athlete. And that's so cool. Second thing I wish I had known before starting this whole shebang. Second thing. Oh, hold on. One last thing. Rewind, backspace. Just like my favorite quote. If you're waiting for the feeling to do the thing, you'll be waiting forever. One of my favorite quotes is, do the thing and ye shall have the power, by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Do the thing and ye shall have the power. Anybody who works out in here knows that most of the time, I bet you, getting down to that gym, getting over across town, even the first few sets, the first mile, it feels like garbage. But about 10 minutes in, 15 minutes in, you feel good. And then the rest of the day, you feel great because you did it. And then another little internal victory is done that day. You made another little mark that you did it, that you're a winner, that you're a champion, that you're a doer, that you're a finisher, that you're an athlete, that you're a networker, that you're a leader. Number 2, this is what I wish I would know, that rejection won't kill you. What I've found in coaching tens of thousands of people all over the world, I'm talking from US, Australia, New Zealand, South Pacific, Asia. I've lived in Europe. I lived in 3 different countries building this industry. And what I will tell you, regardless of where people are from, their background, their age, people catastrophize rejection. They catastrophize the worst possible outcome. They make a molehill into the biggest freaking mountain. This is important to know, guys. I have talked to thousands of people about this company, thousands of people about this product. I have personally enrolled 800 to 900-ish people. Don't have the exact number. Over 800 people I personally enrolled into this company. And you know, not one. So that means I've had thousands of no's, thousands of I need to think about it, thousands of I'll talk to you later, tomorrow, next week, next month, never. I've had thousands of ghostings. And you know what's amazing though? 17 years of doing this. And I've never been cussed out and I've never been punched in the face. Never been cussed out and never been punched in the face. Never. We're always so worried, like, oh my gosh, what is Darlene from high school on Facebook gonna think? If I do that post, oh my God, what is Jane from down the street from Wednesday prayer group, what is she gonna think if I do that live? Or if I invite them, or if I follow up and see if they're ready. Guys, I promise you, you are the center of your own little universe. Nobody else is thinking about you, worried about you, as concerned of you as you are. They forgot you sent them the link. They forgot you told them about this product. They forgot about the technology. They barely watched the video. You have to be relentless. And you guys got to write this down. You need to call your chicken list so your people will call their mom. You need to call your scariest people so you can come from a place of authority and saying, you know what? I know what it's like to call grandma, to call auntie, to call, my buddy Rick. I know what it's like to make that call because I did X, Y, Z. One of the times a couple of years ago, I was at a previous company. I was relaunching my business and it was kind of like this really big run. Or kind of like they had this whole new promo, kind of where we're at right now with LifeVantage, very similar feel, new comp plan, product, very exciting. And I was relaunching my business with that company and I decided to make a brand new list of about 200 names. Now I had already enrolled hundreds of people, so I was starting with a whole fresh new name. And I went to my Facebook. If you guys haven't done this, I recommend doing it. And I wrote down everyone on a list of papers who I'd never talked to before. I just made an actual physical list. I'm a physical girl. I like pens and paper. I'm very tactile that way. And I wrote down names, some of them people I knew from church or some people, I'm not sure how we became friends, but then there were some people that were really successful. One was a kind of a motivational speaker. motivational speaker. He, his cover photo was him on a big stage, that kind of guy. And I wrote it down, right? And I put it down and I decided to now go through this list. I'm relaunching my business. I got my little script ready. I'm all jacked up, right? I'm going to do this. And I start sending messages like, hey, when can you talk? Serious. We need to chat. It's important. These people, some of them didn't even know me from Eve. And they still got on a call with me. And so this guy was so polite. He's like, yeah, I'd love to chat with you. And I'm like, we just started talking and like, how do we know each other? How do we get connected? He goes, I don't know, must be the industry. And I told him about my pitch, that I was with this company, that we had new things happening, and I was really excited. And I wondered if he would take a look. And and by the way, guys, I want you to know, like, I knew that this guy was big. This guy was big time. Now, I had made good money, but I was sweating. I sweat through my shirt. I sweat through my shirt on this call. Okay. And he's like, oh, so sweet of you. Thank you so much for thinking of me. He was so gracious. He was so humble. He said, I've signed 1 million non-competes with network marketing companies because I speak on their stages. There's no way in heck that I could go back and to be a distributor, but oh my gosh, I'm like cheering you on. And if I know anybody, I'll let you know. And I'm like, oh my gosh, thanks. So I got off the call, dripping wet, unbelievably drenched, right? Do you know what? It made calling my neighbor easier. You got to call your chicken list so that your team will call their moms. Number 3 thing I wish I knew. I wish I knew from the beginning how to really define success. Jim Carrey has a great quote, the comedian and actor, Jim Carrey. It's something along the lines of, money and fame won't make you happy, but everyone wants to find out for themselves. In the beginning, I was chasing success in the world standards, material wealth, material gain, consumer goods, the best car, the best house, the best trips, the best clothing, the name brands, the name brands, all that sort of stuff. And I was dripping with it. I look back at some of the on this day memories on Facebook and I'm like, oh my gosh. If you guys want a daily dose of humiliation, it's just like, just go back to the on this day and look what you used to say, used to post. It's like, oh man, we're just going to delete that one. That's just pretend that one didn't happen. And I get to see that process of what I thought success was. In fact, in my previous company, there was a really horrible culture. One, that if you weren't working 80 hours a week, you were part-time. And 2, my mentor actually told me, he said, Rachel, if you put your head down and work for 5 years and you just like, you sacrifice everything, you put your head down, you don't lift it up, like you give this everything, in 5 years, you can lift your head up and you'll have so much money, you can fix whatever you broke. It's funny that guy doesn't have a company anymore and now he's divorced. There's no success worth achieving that brings you to the top and alone. There's no success worth. I was working 100 hours a week 7, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, 10 years ago. I was working 100 hours a week. There was one February, Dondi, where I was 23 of 28 days I was on the road. I remember that one particular February. I would just go nonstop. Now, mind you, I didn't have kids, right? Like there was a season of that. But at some point, like it destroyed my health. I ended up with severe adrenal fatigue, hypothyroidism, massive inflammation. My gut was a mess. My spiritual life was off. My priorities were wrong. My business was my mistress. It really was. It was my safe place. And I know that affected my previous life. Like looking back at my past, like that was a horrible thing. So when I came to this company, I decided I was going to work 25 hours a week. That's all I do, guys. I do 5 hours a day, 5 days a week. I've done it for 7.5 years. Maybe not the first week, it was like 30 hours or 35. But like, seriously, I've never worked more than 25 hours a week. Now, don't be mistaken. My 25 hours is better than most people's 50 because of ultra focused discipline and systems. But redefine success. I want you guys to be okay. And I know most of you guys are here. Most of you guys could teach this to me. Most of you guys should have the mic right now. You've already learned this in your life. I was just late. So just let me just share my experience because there might be one or two that could use this. Nobody cares what car you drive. Nobody cares really like the house that you live in. And more importantly, like the stress it has to like have that mortgage. Nobody really cares what you wear. Do you guys know that at most events, I'm wearing consignment clothes? Because I don't understand, like I'm going to wear it in front of 5,000 people on stage and virtually. Why would I spend $800 for a dress? When I can go down to the consignment store and I can get a Michael Kors dress for $50. Why? I love to be that person that is a contrarian. I have 4 Louis Vuittons, all were a gift. You think I would buy a $2,000 bag? Are you kidding me? Do any of you guys who have known me, Dondi, Marcy, do you love me more because I have a Louis? I'll assure you guys that none of my top earners, none of them give a rat's that I have a Louis Vuitton or that I have a Chanel or I have a Gucci belt. Now I'm like embarrassed to wear it. I have a Chanel $10,000 watch. I'm embarrassed to wear it. High-end jewelry, up the wazoo. Like, guys, nobody cares about this. You know what you really want? Guys, write this down. Value time. Buying back your time. Working hard right now to buy back your time. Don't buy your way up the ladder. Don't buy your way up into debt. Don't work so hard so you can accumulate and use your seed in LifeVantage and go spend that on stuff that breaks and deteriorates and nobody cares about. Every dollar you have that you're building right now in your business, redefine this. It's a soldier. It's a soldier. And if you eat your seed, if you eat all of your seed, you cannot send it back out to do work, either for the kingdom or to go work out in investments. My husband and I made the decision, and I'm the one that rules the money in the sense of our house. It's my gift zone, that we made a decision we will never live beyond his income. We don't live on my LifeVantage income. I want you guys to imagine that. Imagine building a life that's debt-free besides our mortgage. We have a mortgage at 2.9%. Beyond that, we live debt-free, but we've decided, even right now, we're house hunting. My husband got a promotion. We're going to be moving 50 miles. And we're like, we are not expanding our level of living, our standard above my husband's salary. Guys, you know what discipline that takes in this world? Because in this industry, you got to look good and wear red bottom shoes. And I'm driving a 2011 paid off car. My husband drives a 2011 paid off car. Now, mind you, the Range Rovers are really hot and they're sexy and they retain their value. But there, guys, how many of you are driving newer cars than me? Why am I teaching you at a different level of success and you just got into a lease last year? Think about this. Redefine what it is for success. And I don't want a $1,000 car payment. No way. I'm going to drive this car into the ground. And my husband's car, we just put like $5,000 into it. Like, you're driving that thing into the ground. Because the money that I get is resources, it's seed, it's soldiers. I can send it out to go do better work. But if I consume all of it, we do have fun. We consume some of it. Let's be clear. We travel a ton. We have a love language. It's experience. We'll redefine success. Number 4. It's going to be way harder than you think, but easier as you go. And this is where people say that's not fair. Here's the truth. It is easier for me to recruit than the Nettles. It's easier for the Nettles to recruit than you. The further that you go, the higher that you go, the easier it is for you to have success. Write this down. Success begets success. Meaning when you have success, you tend to build success on top of it. People tend to come and see what you're doing because you created a stack, right? You guys have all seen this. Raise your hand. You're like, yeah, I get this. Okay. If somebody's had success, like you want to kind of know, right? Nobody's signing up for the seminars like, hey, world's largest failure, biggest failure in the city, sign up now, $199, get a front row seat, VIP. Nobody's signing up for that class. The failure begets failure. The longer that you fail, the harder it is to actually relieve and remove yourself out of that loop. You've got to go take a burst. You've got to go create a little bit of a stack because something about forward motion and momentum creates more success. Now, whether it's the law of thermodynamics or it's just like a passion principle, I think that there's something about lighting yourself on fire with passion and excitement and energy and success and some results, and people will come from miles to watch you burn. It's harder in the beginning. In fact, it's harder to go slow. Some of you guys are pacing yourself right now. You have this belief. I'm talking to somebody in this class. You think you're like, I don't want to get overwhelmed. I don't want to get unbalanced. I don't want to lose anybody through the, the weeds or anything. I want to make sure I follow up. I'm just going to go slow. I'm going to set up 1 a month, 3 in 1. I'm just going to do it really slow. I enjoy the concept of 3 in 1. 3 in 1 is magic in our plan. But let me tell you guys, it is painfully slow. And some of you guys are like, Rachel, that seems I've never even had a month 3 in 1. Change your idea of success. Redefine your success. Redefine your speed. It's easier to go fast than it is to go slow. I wish I would have known that because it's harder in the beginning and then it gets easier. Is it harder to get into motion or to stay in motion? It's way harder to get started. It's way harder to get to the gym. It's way harder to get on the treadmill. It's way harder to put one foot in front of the other. But then when you're in motion, baby, nothing can stop you. And the more that you have a little bit of success, you know what success builds? Write this down. Confidence. Those little victories that you have, a little bit of success, a little bit of success, a little bit of success. And it doesn't have to be results. It can be an activity. You had a good day of calls. You followed through. You did an Instagram reel. You made a post. You sent out some text messages. Like these little tiny internal victories, all of a sudden you have confidence. And the more that you build up, guys, it's easier to go. And the longer you do this, the easier it becomes. But you just got to start. Pick your speed. I always tell people they can walk, run, or fly. There ain't no sitting on this team. You can't move your business forward if you're sitting, and walking is painfully slow. You're better off burning, like literally kerosene, lighting yourself on fire, getting absolutely buck wild for a couple of months, and then go creating a story. Oh, I'm just telling you, it's worked for me. Number 5. Rewind. Number 4. It's way harder than you think, but easier as you go. I just want to make a little note, a little addendum, a little asterisk here. Stop avoiding the hard. Hard makes you better. You're right, it's hard. It's hard to hear no. It's hard to miss a family event to go to a conference. It's hard to make calls when you want to scroll on TikTok or watch Netflix and chill or binge your favorite new series or check out the game or go out with friends. Now, I will never ask you to make a mistake, but I'll ask you to make sacrifices. A mistake is you not going to the lake with your family on Saturday and then staying home and not moving your business forward. That's a mistake. But a sacrifice is saying, this is the one Saturday a month that we have our big company event and I have to attend and I'm going to be taking notes and I have guests coming and team is plugging into because I'm committed for my business. Make sacrifices, but don't make mistakes. Number 5. Let's recap. Number one, how do you stay so motivated? Motivation is overrated. Don't chase feelings. Just do it. Just do it. Do the thing and ye shall have the power. Number two is that rejection won't kill you. It'll sting for a second. It'll feel bad for a moment. But if you love people and are good to people, if you treat them friendly, they're going to be like, thank you, but no, thank you. Oh, thank you so much for sharing. It's not for me, but I wish you well. And you're like, okay, on to the next. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. Next. Number three is that you have to redefine success. Stop chasing the money, the accolades. Chase the time, chase the growth, value time, value growth, value the journey, value who you become in the process. Number four, it's going to be way harder than you think, but it gets easier. It really does. This is like second nature to me now. I've been doing this forever. It takes 10,000 hours to become a master at something. People are like, you're so good at this. And I'm like, I better be at this point. If I'm not good at this, like I should define a new career, right? Number five, I wish I would have known. It'll all be worth it. I was going down, I have a drive from the city to the cabin. We own this beautiful little lake home in northern Minnesota, AKA Siberia. And I was driving, and as I do, like listening to like podcasts or worship or whatever, and I was just bawling. Might be pregnancy hormones, but I was bawling. Okay. So bawling, driving, 10 and 2 on the wheel, but I was bawling. And I'm thinking about moms. I'm about to be a mom. Never been a mom. Almost 40. It's a big deal. And I have this little boy coming into my life, and I'm just thinking, setting up all these things like maternity leave and my team and systems, or just getting all the ducks in a row, right? Telling team, telling Fab, telling Fife, like, hey, I'm unplugging, just, you know, like MIA, you will not be able to reach me. My baby's newborn for 8 weeks. Peace out. You will not see me. And I was bawling, thinking, every mother knew. If every mom just knew, if every parent just knew what a little stint of sacrifice, what a little stint of hard work, what a stretch of sowing and sowing and sowing and digging your well before you were thirsty. If every parent just understood, even if their kids are 9 right now, or 10 or 7, like if they just knew, and maybe their kids are gone, but they have grandkids coming up, if they just knew that, just for like, if they just worked, like really worked, like really gave it their all for just like a little bit, that they could buy back autonomy in their life and freedom and never have to miss. I have chill bumps thinking, like, I am not going to miss my baby's first. I'm not going to miss any of that. I'm going to be there, present, able, regardless of, even on top of it, all the best things that he could have, not necessarily money, but I'm talking about like food and diet and treatments and trainings and, you know, all the things that make his brain get smart as a toddler, and learning all these things that you got to do with like a newborn, makes their brain like go crazy. I'm like, okay. And all the things, because I'm present. I'm not getting me stressed out about money or having to go back to work. I watched one of my girlfriends, her and I are Instagram friends, and she just went back after 6 weeks of maternity leave. And my heart breaks. She's sharing it on stories, and I'm like, if you only knew. Number 5, that it would be worth it. Now, maybe it's not kids for you. I'll tell you it's worth it. Traveling anywhere in the world. Because you can. How many of you guys want to go to Paris? Raise your hand. How many of you guys would love to see the Eiffel Tower? Nobody? Just a few? Highly recommended. I was obsessed with Paris my whole life. I had like little Eiffel Towers everywhere. And I remember the moment I was sitting there at sunset, looking at the Eiffel Tower, eating a Nutella crepe. or going to like Cinque Terre, the 5 little villages on the Sea of Italy, or earning trips. Been to like Australia. I've lived in all these different places, like the ability to travel. How many of you guys want to give? Raise your hand. You want to give. I can't believe we just, not to boast or share, we just did some giving, send out some checks. It was more than I used to make in a year to our charities, to our churches, and the different ministries that we share with, and anti-human trafficking and all that. Like, I write this check and I'm like, that was 6 months of my salary. Praise God. When you're writing that check, you don't hear the no's. You don't think about the people that quit. You don't think about the bad month you didn't qualify. You don't think about the season you had to rebuild. You don't think about the time that you went to the party and only one guest showed up and they didn't even buy. You don't think about that. You just think, this is worth it. I hope that I told Dondi and Marcy, they're like, it's 30 minutes. I'm like, I am not a woman of brevity. But I hope to have instilled something to you today to know that it will be hard, that it is difficult. There's no shortcut. There's nothing. But this is an amazing gift that you have. And what was the word? Possibility. That if you grab and take this and run with it, that in realistically 3 to 5 years, you won't even recognize your life. I know I don't mind. If you were to say to me at a 38-year college dropout that I'd be living my dream life in Siberia with a hunky lumberjack, having this baby, I don't know. Like, I question it. God is good. So over to you guys, back to you guys with the call, but thanks so much for having me on. And it's really my honor to be here.
Rachel, thank you. Thank you so much for always just being incredibly gracious with your time, and an incredible servant leader, and leading by example and inspiring us, bringing cheers to us, and just listening to what this calling and this purpose on your life, how the incredible blessings that it's allowed you to share with others and live with Ogre. And it's just an incredible honor to know you guys and to do life with you guys. And thank you so much and tell Tony, thank you for giving up his time with you tonight so you could bless our team with your presence. But thank you so much for always just giving above and beyond. Thank you, the fact that you are not a woman of brevity, and thank you that you are just such an inspired leader. Thank you so much, my friend.
Yes, please thank Rachel in the comments. Let her know how much you appreciate what she shared. Give her all the hearts, give her all the love. Rachel, we adore you. You are our sister, and we are so excited for Nugs to get here. Cannot wait. You have to stand up, show us that belly. You don't show us the belly, but stand up and show.
Very cute. It's very cute. Look at it.
She is.
Yeah, I was joking. He's been like very large this whole pregnancy, like a head, and now it's just hilarious. Like literally from 6 weeks pregnant, like larger than and faster. And now all the doctors are like, he's big as expected. And then they look at me and Tony, they're like, yeah, he's gonna be a big baby. So yes. There's
a reason for that, right? But we are so honored and we are so blessed. Thank you so much for pouring into us and to our team. And this will be a recording that goes up on the YouTube channel. So everybody, make sure that you go subscribe there so you can get this shared out with your team, because everybody needs to hear it. But thank you so much, Rachel. And thank you all for showing up tonight. We love every single one of you. You're amazing. And even Marjorie got in here from the Philippines. So thanks so much for being here. And I think that we saw, oh, wait, where is she? Oh, Binky was on for a little while too. Oh, there she is. Yay, Binky too. So, all right, guys, we love you. There is so much information in this call. Those 5 myths, or those 5 things that Rachel wishes she would have known. If you just go back and listen to those and reframe your perspective, it will change everything for you, especially that number 5, it will all be worth it. It will all be worth it. All right, guys,
Yes, and
we
amen.
love you so much. Anything you want to say to close
Just
or?
incredibly blessed. Thank you all for spending the time. Hope you got value and it was incredible. Rachel, thank you so much.
Love
God
you
bless
guys.
you all.
Bye.